Technological innovation helps people achieve tasks or goals with less time and effort, but people are still searching for more innovations. The existence of mobile devices has been rapidly engaged to people, wherein some people owns more than one device. In conjunction with the rapid innovation of this is the handheld devices. It is the emission of different mobile games. Some development tools are distributed for free, and it has caught the attention of many developers, and different games have been appeared. They made their games challenging enough wherein the player should strive to finish the game or to get the highest possible score. This frustration to finish the game made the players to spend too much time on playing, which are inappropriate for the minors. The time which should be spent on studying and learning new things are wasted because of playing. The game which should just be an ordinary pastime becomes an addiction. How we use technology determines if it's good or bad, helpful or harmful. Technology itself is neutral, but it is us who make it good or bad based on how we use it. Due to this problem, we, the proponent, came up with the idea of incorporating educational aspect into the game. We intended to modify an addicting games and transform it into a useful one by adding features such as history, which would contribute to the knowledge by just playing the game. For the objective of the study, first we will design and develop a game that will provide levels and maps with different difficulties. Second, perform flying actions once tap or press is detected. Third, generate the facts and information about the current and the former presidents of the Philippine history. The fourth one is to retrieve and store rewards from the game and detect the collision between game objects. To evaluate and test the game, first is the level of usage. Level of usage, the game should be friendly. The second, control. The game should respond immediately when user interacts. The third one is the content. The game should have meaningful design. And the last one is the entertainment and usefulness. The game should not only hold the attention and interest of the user, but also learn from it. And then we will upload it in the Google Play. We will develop an educational game, which is the President's Quest. It will extend the learning to the mobile users. It will provide President's history for the players' historical awareness and leadership. It will benefit all mobile users who are fond of the games and benefit the future aspiring developers. The users will be grade 4 and above students and people who are interested in history. And also it will benefit the aspiring developers. It is an educational game that will provide some facts about President's history. It is a Philippine theme background and obstacles. It has 2 game modes, which is the arcade mode and the story mode. The arcade mode is the endless game where its mission is to beat the high score and to collect coins as many coins as possible. And the story mode consists of 16 chapters with 3 levels. The coins collected is for purchasing avatars.
In developing the game, the proponents use Corona SDK as the mobile development framework. Corona SDK is a cross-platform mobile application development tool which allows the user to publish game at any mobile platform. Lua is the programming language because it is provided necessities in order to develop the game rapidly. Lua is a powerful, fast, lightweight, and embeddable scripting language. Sublime text is used as the editor where all the codes will be written. To integrate Sublime text to the Corona SDK, the proponents added Corona Editor plugin. To develop the design of the game objects and characters, the proponents will use Adobe Photoshop CS6. It will help them to develop the sprite sheets, backgrounds, obstacles, and the entire object which the player would see and interacts in the game. Game sounds are downloaded from subsplat.com. This diagram shows the game development life cycle. First is the requirement gathering and analysis phase. In this phase, we are gathering all the requirements that we need in the game. After collecting all the requirements that are needed to the game, we'll proceed to the design phase, where the user interface will be designed. After the design was finished, we will proceed to the development phase. The development phase that we will use will be discussed later. After the development, we will conduct some testing like black box testing, alpha testing, and beta testing. Those testing will be discussed later. And after conducting all the testings, the game will be launched in Google Play, and the maintenance will be provided based on the player's review. The diagram shows the top-down development approach that we use. The abstract description of the game is specified during the concept layer. This phase is where the planning of what genre of the game will be developed. Context layer was the compressed of discussion about the game storyboard, and concrete view of the game. The planning of the content and features of the game will be developed in the core layer. Content refers to the planning for the game materials such as avatars, sprites, backgrounds, and other game objects. The proponents decided to add the features which may set the game apart from other existing game. Mechanics layer. The proponents set a list of mechanics which must be seen during the game. Once the mechanics have been planned properly, it is now ready to be applied to the game, which is done during the verb layer. This diagram shows the conceptual framework of President's Quest. First, the input is stop, which comes from the player. The processes are the start game, select chapter, and level. Then move character. All of those processes will be shown in the mobile screen. This diagram shows the hierarchy, input, process, output of the President's Quest. After opening the game, after starting the game, the player will choose between arcade mode and story mode. If the player chooses arcade mode, he will proceed to the select avatar screen. Then after selecting an avatar, he can start the game. Once he paid to beat the high score, he can retry the game. Once he beat the high score, the new high score will be saved as a reward. And if the player chooses story mode, the player needs to select chapter, then select level, then proceed to the select avatar. After selecting the avatar, he can now proceed to start the game. If he failed in the level, he can retry the level. Then if he accomplished the level, he can get the reward, which is the summary of the history of the president. And in the collections, the player can view all the items that he collected in the game. This diagram shows the main menu flowchart. The main menu flowchart contains the collection, the arcade mode and story mode, and the exit. If the player wants to view all the collections, he can tap on the collection and the game will get all the collected items and show it to the player. And if the player wants to play the arcade mode, he just need to tap the arcade button. Then, same as in the story mode, if the player wants to play the story mode, the player needs to tap on the story button. Then after, if the player wants to close the game, he just need to tap on the exit button. This diagram shows the arcade mode game proper flowchart. First, the game will show the available avatars. Then the player needs to select his desired avatar to be used to play the game. Then after that, the game will get all the assets. Assets consist of the backgrounds, obstacles, game objects, and the character. After getting all the assets, the game will show it to the screen. And once the obstacle is moved, it means it is the beginning of the game. And every time the player touches or long touch to the screen, the character will fly up. And if not, the character will fall down. In the game, if the player hit an obstacle or ground, the game will get his score, then show his score. After showing his score, the game will compare it to the high score. If the player beats the high score, the game will save the new high score and prompt the player if he wants to play again. And if the player doesn't beat the high score, the player will be prompted to retry the game, or if he don't want to retry it. And if the character doesn't hit any obstacle or ground, the game will check if the obstacle has already passed. If the player passed the obstacle, then his or her score will increase. And if not, if not, the score will stay the same. This diagram shows the story mode chapter selection flowchart. First, the game will show all the chapters and level. The player will select the chapter. Then the game will get the selected chapter and check if the chapter is available. If the chapter is not available, the player cannot proceed. And if the chapter is available, then he will select a level. And then the game will get the selected level and check if it is available. If it is not available, the player cannot proceed. And if it is available, the player can play the story mode on that current level. This diagram shows the story mode game proper flowchart. First, the game will get all the assets. Assets consist of backgrounds, obstacle, game objects, and the character. Then the game will show all the assets. Once the assets move, it means it is the beginning of the game. Once touch or long touch to the screen is detected, the character will fly up. And if not, the character will fall down. If the character hits an obstacle or ground, that means the level is failed. And then prompt 2 the player will ask to try the level. If no, we'll proceed to the main menu. And if yes, the game will restart to the start of the story mode game proper flowchart. Then after, if the character doesn't hit the obstacle or ground, then the game will check if the character passed on the obstacle. The score will increase unless the player already passed on the obstacle. After passing on the obstacle, the game will check if the level is already completed. If the level is completed, then he will proceed to the reward process. This diagram shows the mission accomplished flowchart. Once the player completed the level, the game will get the reward. Then show the reward to the player, and the reward will contain the history of the president. And after reading that history, the item collected will be added to the collections. Then after adding the item to the collections, the game will show all the level completed. Then check if all chapters is completed. If yes, the player can unlock the next chapter. And if no, the player the next level will be unlocked.
This is the conceptual design for game cover. In this section, you just need to touch anywhere to start. And this is the conceptual main menu screen. This figure shows which will appear after the cover screen of the game. In this section, you will see the arcade, story mode, collection, and exit. In arcade mode, the player can play arcade mode once the option is tapped. And arcade mode is an endless level where its mission is to beat the high score and to collect coins. And in story mode, the player can play story mode, and it has 16 chapters with 3 different levels. The player will be rated based on his performance in accomplishing the game. The 1 star is for good performance, then the 2 stars is for better performance, and the 3 stars is for excellent performance. And for collection, the collections are the book that contains the summary of the current former president of the Philippine history, which can be obtained in accomplishing story mode chapters levels. And basically for exit, if you want to close the game, just click the exit button. So you can see here in this chapter, you will see the first 8 chapters of the game. You just need, if you want to go to the remaining 8 chapters, you just need to click this button, the next button. Here it is, the 8 remaining chapters. If you want to go back to the previous 8 chapters, just click that. If you want to go back to the main menu, you will see here in the right upper corner the X button. Here's the 3 different levels of the story mode: the good, the better, and for the best performance. If you want to read books, just click this button, the read book. Here, this is the conceptual design for the game Obstacle. For this background and the obstacles, we used the Bohol, one of the beautiful scenery in the Philippines, and we also used their famous animal. It's called tarsier, and we also used the famous chocolate cheese. And this is the character, or the default character of our game. For you to be able to change his appearance, if you already unlock different avatars, you can change it. Here, this is the conceptual for design for coins and heart collection. If you want to gain, or if you want to have more coins for you to buy avatars, just collect the coins. And this heart is for your lives. And as you can see, you will see chest. This chest is for you to have the reward. For you to have the reward, for you to be able to read, or to know the history or informations of the president of the Philippines. As you can see here, we use this is the names of the former and current President of the Philippines. We used Emilio Aguinaldo, and up to the current President of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte. And if you want to go back to main menu, just simply click the back button. Here you can see the basic and basic information or informations of Rodrigo Duterte. If you want to read more about him, just click the next button. And if you want to go back to the main menu, you can just simply click the X button. Here, this shows this is for the arcade mode. If you're not able to, or for example, I am playing now this game, and I'm not able to pass the beating score or the high score. My score will show here, and the high score will show here. And if you want to play again, just click retry. And this is the high score achieved stream. If you are the high score, your score will show here. And as I said, just click the X button if you want to go back to the main menu. And if you want to play again, just click play again.